Coming to the design specification of the lacing system, let us start with the forces in the lacing. See, if there are two channel sections which are joined like this face to face, the lacing system is provided here and here, two sides. So what happens is, because of the wind or external agents, there is going to be a transverse shear force exerted on this member. I mean, if this is the member, this is the member column, built up column, this is the plane of lacing, and in this way, a transverse shear force may be developing because of wind. So what happens is, when such a transverse force act on this column, on the built up column, since these lacing system are connecting these two members, what happens is this shear force is also going to develop some stresses inside this bar. Okay, so let me give you something like this. See, these built up column and lacing are connected with bolt or weld. So when a transverse force of Vt is acting on this column, of course the channel section on this way. Okay, see here, this is the plane of lacing. So plane of lacing and load direction are going to be parallel, isn't it right? So but what happening is, because of Vt, a force which is acting on this built up channel section column, this stress is going to be transferred to the lacing bars through this connection, through these bolts. Okay, so in order to understand what is the force that is inside this lacing, let us find out what is the actual resolution of the forces here at this bolt. Because see here, these lacings are not are inclined at an angle, isn't it right? How this transverse force is going to develop these stresses here, that is what we are interested in here. Okay, so now let us take a free body diagram of the bolt and the force acting on it. See, when I say this, Vt is equals to the transverse shear force, each plane of the lacing is going to take half of it. And this is going to take Vt by 2 and this is going to take Vt by 2. So because 2 is nothing but n, which is equals to number of planes of lacing that is resisting. Okay, only that is resisting. Okay, because of which these shear forces are going to generate. Okay, so now n is equals to 2. But in case of angle sections, 4 angle sections coming together and forming a build section, we have 4 lacing systems on 4 sides. So when a transverse shear force is acting in this way, this one and this one is going to take it. And what happens if the force is in this direction? I mean, right. See, Aquila in this direction, then this one and this plane. So even the 4 angle sections coming together with 4 lacing system, still n is equals to 2. Okay, so what is the shear force, transverse shear force taken by each plane, each system? V by 2. Okay, or Vt by 2. Of course, we actually used Vt as the denotation for this transverse shear force. So Vt is equals to this. And it is also mentioned in clause 7.6 of IS 800 that this transverse shear force which is going to act on this column, built up column, is to be taken as, so in the load 2.5% transverse for shear force కింద కన్సిడర్ చేసి లేసింగ్ సిస్టమ్ని మనం డిజైన్ చేయాలి. సో ఇక్కడ you have to check whether the lacing bars are able to bear the stresses that are being developed because of Vt, and what about this bolt connection here? Is the bolt good to hold those stresses coming on to it? Okay, that is what we are going to design or look into in the designing of lacing system. Okay, so let us consider this simple figure here. So this is a lacing system, right? Okay. And now this is angle theta, that is angle made by the lacing bar with the vertical. So this is a right angle triangle, right? This is Vt by n. So you can write this as Vt by n, just representing the direction since it is a force vector quantity. So I'm just drawing the diagram here individually, only that portion Vt by n, and this is theta. So what will be the value of sine theta? Sine theta is equals to Vt by n by, if you take the force in this lacing bar, is F. So by F. So what will be the F value? Vt by n sine theta. Sine theta is in denominator. So what is F? F is equals to Vt divided by n sine theta. So that is what we got here. See, for single lacing system of two parallel faces, what will be the value of n? 2. And if it is a double lacing system as shown in this figure B, if you take this as A and this is B, in this B, it will be equals to V by 4 sine theta. Okay, n will be equals to 4. So n value is actually dependent upon whether it is a single lacing or double lacing. For a single lacing it is 2, for double lacing it is 4. See, now we know what is the force. So what is F here? F is the force that is acting in the lacing system, in the lacing bar. Okay, this is the compressive force or tensile force. Okay, remember that in some lacing bar, compression force can exist, and in some alternative bars, tension force can exist. Okay, so whatever the nature of the force, the quantity, magnitude of the force is same. That is V by 2 sin theta in single, and double అయితే V by 4 sin theta. And of course, equation ఎలా కూడా రాస్తారు? V by 4, what is 1 by sin cosecant theta? And you can write V by 2 cosecant theta. Cosecant, not cos, cosecant. So we can write V by n cosecant theta. Okay, so you will find this expression using in the next part. And now coming to this remaining thing. So you know what is the force and how to calculate it now in the lacing bars. So this force will be tensile in one lacing bar and compression in the other. And next, slenderness ratio. The slenderness ratio Le by R of the lacing bar should not exceed 145. It shouldn't. Okay, and moreover, when you calculating this slenderness ratio, what should be the effective length? Effective length here is the lacing bar effective length. Lacing bar is welded or bolted to the channel sections, right, in this case, or the built up section. So what happens is, single lacing aithe adi bolted at ends aithe effective length will be equals to the length of the bar, lacing bar. Double lacing aithe bolted connections at the end and at intersections, double lacing, right? See here, in double lacing what happens is, lacings will intersect at some places. So if they are bolted, ends are bolted and midpoints or intersection points are bolted, then effective length is 0.7 times of L. And if they are welded, then also effective length is 0.7 times of L. Okay, so this is how you have to calculate the effective length in case of bolt and weld connection of the lacing bar with the built-up bar. So you know how to calculate this slenderness ratio. So slenderness ratio is equals to Le by R. Le by R ante root over I by A. So what is I? I is the, so lacing bars అంటే మీకు తెలుసు rectangular cross section, right? So if you take the thickness T and width as B of the lacing bar, so this is the lacing bar, this is B. Okay, so this is thickness, this is T. Okay, thickness T, this is T, and this is B. So what will be the moment of inertia? BTQ by 12 divided by area, cross sectional area b into t. So upon calculation you get lambda is equals to LE root over 12 by t, isn't it? Or r, what is the value of r? T by root 12. Okay, from this expression. So it should be less than 145. You have to check that. So what happens if slenderness ratio is greater than 145? So it is going to fail. The uh, lacing bars can buckle and fail. Okay, so we do not want that happening. So you have to check for the slenderness ratio in case of this. Next, width of the bar. So the width of the bar should be, see here, 3 times the nominal diameter of the end connector. So for example, if you are using bolts of 16 mm, so what happens is width of the lacing bar should be 3 times of die of bolt, that is 3 into 16, 48 mm. So that is how you decide the width of the lacing bars. Okay, coming to thickness of the lacing bar, it has to be thickness should be greater than L by 40 for single lacing. L is the length of the lacing bar, and it has to be lesser than greater than L by 60 for double lacing. So what is L? L is the length between the inner end bolts or welds. See, for example, this is the bar, lacing bar. Here bolt is connected here and here, right? So this distance, okay, this distance is L. Of course, we represent it with L, not L. Okay, so don't worry about this. But here L is this. So next, angle of inclination, it is 40 and not more than 70. So generally what we adopt is 45. But 45 is not a constant value, it can change. And next to spacing. What is spacing, guys? See, these are two things, two channel sections or two eye sections. This is lacing and this is L naught, spacing of lacing bars. This is single, right? Single lacing. What happens if it is a double lacing? If it is a double lacing like this, this distance is L naught. What is L naught? Spacing of the lacing bars. Okay, so in case of double lacing, we are going to have less space between these two lacing bars, and in a way you are actually reducing the length between the lacing bars. There is no less chance or no chance for this section to buckle. See, even this channel section or this column section is also going to buckle in this way. Okay, between the, so even this portion is going to buckle. So in order to avoid that, we can go for this double lacing. Double lacing will avoid the situation of like this, situations like this, buckling of the built up section at this place. Okay, so next, the maximum spacing of the lacing bar should such that minimum slenderness ratio should be equals to 0.7 lambda max and 50, whichever is minimum. Ante should not exceed L is equals to 0.7 R minimum into lambda max. This equation, just send this here. So L, so the distance between these two or the spacing between the lacing bars should not exceed this value or should not exceed 50 times of minimum radius of gyration. Okay, so you have to take care of that. And attachment of these members, so we can go for either welded or bolted connections. Of course, you are aware of this. So when you are trying to weld the connection, you have to lap that, right? This lacing bar should be lapped onto this, and this lap length should not be less than 4 times the thickness of the lacing bar. Okay, and the weld that you have provided, longitudinal and transverse, should be able to take whatever the forces that are being developed in the lacing system. Okay, and of course, what happens in case of bolt? We already calculated the forces, right? See this here. In order to understand this bolted connection, you have to go through this following rough diagram and line diagram. So this is the bolt, and these are the lacing bars. So in these lacing bars, there is compression and tension. One bar contains compression, one has tension. So these arrows indicates that this is compression, and this is tension. So this is theta, the inclination of the lacing bar with the vertical. So now according to that, this also will be theta and this also will be theta. So now resolve this force. This is F cos theta upward, and this is F sin theta in this word, and F cos theta again upward because of this, and this is F sin theta. So if you see, this is F sin theta, and here again F sin theta, upward F cos theta, and again upward F cos theta. This F sin theta, F sin theta are equal and opposite directions, so they nullify each other. What is the net force at the bolt? Upward 2F cos theta. So what is the resultant force on the bolt? Total force acting in practically resultant force 2F cos theta. But what is R? R is bolt value. Okay, R is bolt value. So we have calculated the bolt value of course, bolt value is nothing but, let me write it down here for you. Bolt value is minimum of shear strength and bearing strength of bolt. We are going to calculate all this in our problem, numerical problem. Okay, don't worry about that. So minimum of these two values is taken to be as the bolt value. Okay, the equations to calculate these are available from the code book, no problem. Of course, we are already used to these equations because we have used in previous all the chapters. So put that R. So 2F cos theta is the total force coming onto this bolt, and R is the total strength of the bolt. So coming load divided by its own capacity will give you number of bolts required. In most of the cases, one bolt is sufficient. I mean, you will get less than one bolt, point something in decimal. Of course, you can take it as the rounding of value to the highest number. Okay, so this is all about the design criteria and requirements. In the next video, we are going to solve a problem. Of course, this is a continuous problem to the which we have discussed in the previous video. Okay, thank you.